Welcome to the presentation of office hysteroscopy, a remarkable technique in cervical stenosis. By definition, cervical stenosis is a cervical scarring of variable degree. It is a subjective impression of narrowing or complete obliteration of external and/or internal os. There are four types of cervical stenosis. Type 1 is external os, type 2 is distal one-third of cervical canal, type 3 is internal os, and type 4 is a combination of external and internal os. Type 1 is more common in reproductive age group fertile women, while the other three are more common in postmenopausal age group. Our patient Mrs. X, 52 years of age, para 2 live 2 with previous 2 cesarean sections, postmenopausal since 2 years, came with complaints of PV spotting on and off since 6 months and pain in lower abdomen since 6 months. Her examination findings were unremarkable. She had 3 consecutive transvaginal ultrasounds over the past 6 months, suggestive of a 2 by 2 centimeter endometrial polyp on the posterior uterine wall. An attempt at DNC had failed due to inability to dilate the os. We planned an office hysteroscopy for her using a 2.9 mm office hysteroscope with a 4.3 mm operative sheath. Normal saline was used as the distending medium. We usually use 1 tablet of NSAID, ibuprofen plus paracetamol, on the night prior to the procedure. Patient is in lithotomy position without anesthesia in the operation theatre. Here we have begun the hysteroscopy with a no-touch vaginoscopy. This is the external os, which we are trying to negotiate with the beveled edge of the scope, but it is seen to be completely stenosed. So we introduce the 5 French hysteroscopic grasper, and with the open and close action of the grasper, we are able to cross the external os. The cervical canal is seen here, which is identified by the normal glandular architecture. What we see here at 6 o'clock position is the internal os, which is completely stenosed. Normally, with the pressure of saline, the scope easily traverses through the internal os into the cavity. However, it is not the case here. The first step again is the rotation of the scope on the endocamera so that the oval shape of the end of the scope can pass through. But since we could not do that here, we are going to the next step, which is introducing the 5 French hysteroscopic grasper. The forward and backward and open and close action of the grasper usually opens up flimsy adhesions. In this case, thick fibrous bands are clearly visible. We are retracting the scope backwards and re-attempting the grasper method, but still we could not succeed. So we now move on to step 3, which is cutting the fibrous tissue at 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock position with the 5 French hysteroscopic scissors. Fibrous tissues have no pain fibers. So at every step of the procedure, I am talking to my patient. As long as she is not in pain, it means that I am in the right plane. She is the best feedback for the pain parameter. Finally, we have navigated our way into the uterine cavity. This is the right ostia being seen, and this is the left ostia being seen. There is a polypoidal endometrium on the posterior uterine wall, but there is no well-defined polyp. This is the endometrial biopsy being taken under vision. The different techniques that can be used for cervical stenosis hysteroscopically are rotation of the scope, hysteroscopic graspers, and hysteroscopic scissors. Usually, a sequential combination of all 3 methods is needed, as seen in our case. Advantages of office hysteroscopy are no anesthesia risk, operative success, and patient satisfaction. Complications can be creating a false passage, perforation of the uterus, or excessive pain. Thank you.